Tonight, our region begins to prepare for the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine. And Aldi's plans to open shop in Broken Hill postponed.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. The long-awaited COVID-19 vaccine is just weeks away from being rolled out, with Whyalla, Port Pirie and Port Augusta among 9 vaccination hubs. It's expected more than 60,000 people will get the jab in the initial phase.
The Iron Triangle transforming into a vaccination powerhouse.
They'll be trained to manage it and make sure the vaccine itself is kept safe and delivered to the right people.
Hospitals in Whyalla, Port Pirie and Port Augusta will be among 5 regional centres to roll out the first phase of the COVID-19 vaccine.
It's an amazing step forward. It's amazing that the work has been done, internationally and in Australia to produce a vaccine faster than any other vaccine and to the same standards that any other vaccine has.
South Australia's government striking a deal to secure 60,000 doses, a fraction of the federal government's 150 million.
Hearing some of the background is that they're really putting in lots of work to make it work properly.
Authorities planning to administer the first jab in just 2 weeks at the Royal Adelaide Hospital. From there, the vaccines will filter out into the community.
The rollout of the vaccine, I understand, will be to lots of outlying areas, including Port Lincoln as well.
Frontline health workers, hotel quarantine staff and aged care residents and carers will be among the first to get the jab.
It's very complex logistically, because of the cold chain and all that kind of stuff. But from my understanding is they're working out those logistics to make sure it works.
Today, South Australia recorded 1 new case, a man in his 20s already in a Medi hotel. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Aldi seemingly scrapped its plans to build a store in Broken Hill, saying the project is now under review to determine its viability. It comes just 6 months after the development was approved by local council.
Grand plans for a third major supermarket in Broken Hill shelved. The empty site at the corner of Galena and Will Street set to stay that way for now.
It was totally a decision of Aldi, and I think for Aldi to go there, one of the 3 major, or what would be 3 major supermarkets, one would have to close.
The German-born supermarket filed a development application in April last year, which was approved by council in August. Now, just 6 months later, its future looks uncertain. In a statement to 7 Spencer Golf News, a spokesperson said that complications with environment, construction costs and logistics was the reason behind the decision. Officially, the project is deferred and pending further review.
It's quite strange. They put in all this effort to get the approval, and once they've got the approval, suddenly they say no to it.
Councillor Kennedy sticking to his cards today, saying the store's location between Woolworths and Coles made little sense when there's no supermarket in South Broken Hill at all.
I'm still pretty sure the best place would have been South Broken Hill.
Our independent grocery stores breathing a sigh of relief, but unsurprised by the decision.
Population's pretty small. You got 2 major chains already here, and you got 3 independents here, and there's just not enough room for everyone.
It doesn't take much to suddenly make those businesses uncompetitive, which means we lose a lot of employment.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
South Australia has had a record-breaking season for local tourism, with the Great State Voucher Scheme credited for the numbers. The member for Frome wants regional tourism to be given an extra boost by increasing the voucher credit.
A tough year for tourism, but now operators are reaping the benefits.
36,000 bookings through to the 31st of January when bookings closed off.
These recent figures will translate into an economic impact of $19 million. The region's one of the hardest areas hit during COVID-19 lockdown, with hotel owners reporting a staggering decline in visitors.
We're doing it very, very tough in the first half of last year. In fact, in the second half of last year, they significantly improved in many areas across the state.
It follows $100 voucher spend in Adelaide's CBD and $50 in the regions. Despite nearly half the vouchers not being used, the South Australian Tourism Commission is deeming it a success.
Just under 75,000 vouchers issued this round, and just over 36,000 vouchers codes were utilised. So that's nearing a 50% utilisation.
A third round is set to be put on the table, and the member for Frome, Jeff Brock, is urging for the scope of vouchers to be widened.
But I understand it's not a third round coming out, and I'm hoping they'll be able to include tour operators, because around the Clare Valley in particular, there's a lot of tours that could come out of Adelaide and do the tours of the wineries and the cellar doors there.
But the Premier is hinting activity vouchers may be in the pipeline.
At different attractions and experiences that might also be able to be used as part of the voucher program.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A motorist will face court after he was caught driving in a dangerous manner in Port Augusta. Just after 4 a.m. on Friday, patrols noticed a car driving with one headlight and attempted to pull it over. Police say the car failed to stop and drove away at speed. The vehicle was eventually located and the driver, a 26-year-old man, was breath tested, returning a reading of .166. He has been charged with a string of offences and received an instant loss of licence. The vehicle was impounded. And a 39-year-old man allegedly recorded a blood alcohol reading nearly 6 times over the legal limit. York Mid-North Police pulled over the vehicle on the Augusta Highway near Meriton just before 7 on Saturday, after noticing a smashed windscreen. The driver was breath tested and allegedly produced a reading of .295. He was reported for drink driving and driving unlicensed and will appear in court at a later date. Still to come tonight, Broken Hill in the midst of a real estate boom, and a Port Augusta UniHub student receives a head start to the new academic year. Welcome back. A Port Wakefield man has been arrested over the weekend for deception offences involving home improvements. It's alleged the man received deposits of cash to complete flooring at private houses in late December and early January. But once the money had been paid, it's alleged the victims never heard from him. Police arrested a 30-year-old on Saturday and charged him with 2 counts of deception. He did not apply for bail and will appear in the Port Pirie Magistrates Court. Anyone with further information is being urged to contact their local police station. Property prices in Broken Hill have soared over the last year as people flock from the city to the country. Local agents saying now is the time to buy, with increased demand expected to push up prices again this year.
We know the benefits of living in the country, and it seems there's plenty of city folk catching on. In the third quarter of 2020, more than 11,000 people moved away from our capital cities.
It's the lifestyle. You're quitting the rat race.
Figures from realestate.com.au show Broken Hill's house prices are at their highest in at least 8 years. The median price now $125,000. The number of homes sold in the last year up by 10%.
We are seeing a lot more demand on property, and therefore moving forward in 2021 we will see an increase.
With low prices and long sale times, Broken Hill isn't known for its investment potential, but agents say buying property here still has its benefits.
Buying a property is far cheaper than rental.
The increased demand also reflected in the rental market. The average house will set you back $260 a week, while units are $100 a week cheaper.
We've had a few properties that they get advertised on our website, and within one day people are already showing interest and they want to view it.
And while property prices and availability varies with our seasonal workforce, upcoming projects are improving buyer confidence.
There's a lot of great projects happening around the outskirts of town, a lot of mining projects, some infrastructure builds. It's a good time. I think that's what's attracting a lot of interest.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Port Augusta student received a financial head start to the new academic year, winning a scholarship for social work students. Presented by Centrecare Catholic Country SA, it's the first to be donated by the agency.
For Amanda Parkinson, studying has always been on the agenda, but those dreams seemed out of arm's reach as part-time work and raising children took up her time. But today she was presented a $2,500 scholarship to help support her as she begins her social work degree this year.
It's a good opportunity. It means that I don't have to worry about paying for textbooks. It will help with childcare. It just takes a bit of that financial pressure off.
She says having the Uni Hub available to her locally means that she can live local whilst getting the qualifications she needs.
It's really important for me to have it here. I can come in here on a night time as well and do my lectures and things on a night time.
Uni Hub staff say Amanda was well deserving of the new initiative.
So the recipient was Amanda Parkinson, who's a huge advocate for the Uni Hub, as well as what Uni Hub stands for, which is training local people to be able to be employed in our region and fill local vacancies.
Presented by Centrecare Catholic Country SA, the scholarship is the first to be donated by the organisation. Management says they are looking to encourage local employment.
We're absolutely delighted to be able to support the Uni Hub in and in financially supporting students who also share that commitment.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Record funding has been injected to help fight domestic violence in South Australia. More than $21 million from the state government is being invested, helping fast-track several support measures. 40 new crisis accommodation beds, a rollout of safety hubs and new support housing initiatives are all being put in place. Just short of $5 million in domestic violence funding was invested last year from the federal government. A date has been locked in for this year's local government elections in New South Wales. Elections were pushed back last year and will now go ahead on the 4th of September. The decision to delay was made to ensure public safety at the polls. Voters in Broken Hill will also be choosing their next mayor. Daria Turley will be hoping to keep the top job, while councillors Dave Gallagher and Tom Kennedy have confirmed they'll also be running. Stay with us. Port Augusta Events now able to apply for grant support, and free fox bait to be made available on the Eyre Peninsula. Free fox bait is being made available across the Eyre Peninsula this month to try and tackle the growing pest. It's estimated foxes cost Australia's environment and economy $230 million each year. The Eastern Districts will be the first to access the bait this Friday.
It's really important that landholders are talking to each other, giving 72 hours notice that they will be commencing a baiting program and letting everyone know the risks that there are to dogs of having baits out on their land.
It's recommended to bait twice a year during the fox breeding season. Landholders on the Southern Eyre Peninsula can access it from mid-March. For more information, visit the Natural Resources website. Australian exploration company Pepinini is entering into an agreement to drill on the Eyre Peninsula. 2 exploration licenses covering more than 1,000 square kilometres near Streaky Bay is being finalised. Initial surveys of the area found large deposits of kaolin clay, with the Mount Hope area recording high levels of the mineral. The company says a large area will be a lucrative drilling site for the clay when tenements are granted. Pepinini already holds exploration sites in the Musgrave province in South Australia and in Argentina. Applications are now open for the next round of the Port Augusta City Council's Community Events Programme. Council says the funding will help ensure events are held across the region can access vital support.
Supporting our local events when they need it most. Port Augusta City Council's Community Events Program now taking applications for its latest round.
We're looking to support events that are going to create some vibrancy in Port Augusta.
For the Port Augusta Golf Club, securing funding from the program has helped them to run their yearly golf classic, with this year its 46th event.
This is a big event that we run here in August every year. Look, without some support by our local council and some other sponsors, you wouldn't be able to put on an event like this.
With the club relying on memberships and local funding, they say any help makes a difference, especially after a tough COVID year.
You know, all small clubs, especially with the COVID, have all found it tough this year, and any little bit of help they can get will go a long, long way.
Local events also helping bring visitors and investment into the community.
You know, when our visitors come here for a golf classic, you know, for them to spend over $200,000 in the town, you know, in tourism, hotels, all those type of things, it's a great boost for our city.
Council encouraging community organisations and sporting groups to apply if eligible.
It's important that we hold events like this in our community to attract visitors to Port Augusta, to showcase what we have available here and to hopefully have them return many times into the future.
Applications close February 19. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
It was an eventful weekend of local sport, despite some wet and cold conditions threatening Saturday's action. Matches in the Mid-North Tennis Association went ahead as the race to the finals begins heating up. Shari Hams has a wrap.
Finals fever is fast approaching in tennis leagues across the region. An inter-association competition is set to be held this weekend in Jamestown, and Mid-North Tennis Association is preparing to put up a fight. The weekend scores saw stronger teams flex their strengths with many one-sided fixtures. Hilltown played Blythe on Friday night to ensure they had a full team of players. This resulted in 23-1 demolition of Blythe. Rowan Higgins and Tyson Lamont had strong single wins, while Ring and Kate Millard opened her account for Hilltown with a 6-0 victory over Kristen Carling. Long Plains also falling short against Clare Purple. Meanwhile, new player Jonathan Wildman bet longtime association number 1 Mark West. The Balaclava 14-year-old bet West 6-1, sending shockwaves through the competition. Jonathan will be teaming up with Sam Clayson at next week's association game to form a doubles team. Now turning to softball across the regions, Cougars came out on top against checkmates 8-4. Helen Webb, Georgia Salt and Anne Ransack leading their team to victory. Tigers were no match for Solly Cats, losing 6-2. Kieran Colgan tried to put up a fight, but Solly's best players Penny Lynch and Kaylee Sawak were just too good for the Tigers. Over to Whyalla softball, and Friday night matches were eventful with wet and windy conditions. Tigers smashed the Indians 19-3. Roadrunners also coming out on top against the Eagles. Sunday welcomed much better conditions, the Eagles defeating Tigers 15-4. Roadrunners smashed the Indians 13-4. And that's all for Sports Wrap. Join us tomorrow night for all the cricket scores from across the region.
Stay with us after the break. Breast screening returns to Broken Hill. And we'll have the weather details with Alex. Hello again. Breast Screen New South Wales has resumed in Broken Hill, with free screening available at the local hospital for the next 3 weeks. COVID safety measures are in place, with patients asked to attend alone and only arrive 5 minutes before their appointment. It's recommended women aged 50 to 74 have a mammogram every 2 years. Bookings can be made through their website. Time now for a look at this week's weather across the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill. With all the details, here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. Temperatures range from mild to warm with generally sunny conditions throughout the region today. From 3 p.m, Port Lincoln recorded a maximum of 22 degrees. Woodnor was significantly warmer with 31. Coffin Bay had a mostly sunny day with 25 the top there. Looking across the rest of the region now, Cooper Pedy reached 34 degrees, Broken Hill 28, Port Augusta was sunny and 32. Similar conditions for Port Pirie with the mercury tipping 30 degrees there. Whyalla was 27 and Cadena and Adelaide both had tops of 25. The satellite image shows high cloud over southeastern parts of SA. This is gradually thinning out as a low and front move away, causing showers to become light and isolated. Skies are already generally clear across the state's far north where winds are dry. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Winds will be southeasterly ranging between 15 knots mid-morning and 25 knots late in the afternoon. afternoon. Seas and swells will peak between 1 and 2 metres. It'll be mainly fine and warm tomorrow. Port Lincoln will have a high of 28 degrees, 33 degrees for Cleve, and a hot day for Woodna with 37. Whyalla and Kadina will have tops of 33, sunny and 37 in Port Augusta. Port Pirie is expected to reach 35, Clare 32, and Broken Hill will have clear skies and 33 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, hot and sunny conditions forecast for Wednesday. Tops of 41 for Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy, 40 in Port Pirie and Woodna. Broken Hill, Whyalla and Kadina can all expect highs of 36 degrees and 35 in Adelaide. Temperatures will remain very warm on Thursday as a large cloud mass will begin moving over the region and bringing some showers to the southwest. 42 in Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Cooper Pedy will have 40 degrees, a maximum of 39 for Whyalla, tops of 37 for Broken Hill, Woodna and Kadina and Adelaide, and a few showers in Port Lincoln with 32 degrees there. Friday will see a cool change with mild to warm temperatures and partly cloudy conditions. Broken Hill will have a top of 30, 27 for Cooper Pedy. Port Augusta and Port Pirie will both reach 26 degrees, maximums of 24 in Whyalla and Kadina, and a pretty mild day for Adelaide with 22 degrees there. So John, it looks like we have a very warm week in store for us, but those hot temperatures will ease off by Friday, just in time for the weekend. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.